I told you this when I first met you. I said to you, you're going to be a billionaire.
Steven Rosen
has been making headlines
across the creator economy.
News outlets are calling his AI girlfriends one of the most controversial things on the internet.
You've got over 1,000 online AI models. Collectively, you have 100 million followers on Instagram.
The speed at which we can bring someone in, teach them social media, and get them going viral is literally the difference between us making 100 million or billions of dollars from this business.
If OnlyFans called you tomorrow and they made you an offer to buy the business, would you sell it?
No. Nothing's for sale ever. What you need is a proper system to make money. We have an account that made $150,000 in 1 month, no chatters on the page. Any type of brand or niche is now achievable with AI. If you make 4K in a month or you make 7K in a month, does it actually fundamentally make any difference to your life in the next 10 years? It has no difference at all. But if you build the high value skill sets that can make you a 100K a month person, or if you build the skill sets to grow 10 million followers, that 10 million followers is going to appreciate like an asset. If you look at our business like a stock, people would be all in on it. Building a $1 billion company is a way more exciting idea than actually making the money from the $1 billion company. If I didn't have this to work towards every day, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. In terms of claim to fame, I mean, I don't think that I have one. I mean, I have this micro community that we built out, which is now becoming a much larger community for the marketplace and our website. But within that, like, it's cool, you know, and people know who I am, but outside on the street, nobody has any idea, you know, and there's like this idea where you kind of get these communities going and people start, you know, gravitating towards you. Wow, you know, you're smart, you're doing well. And they, you know, some people get egotistical from it, but I've kind of felt the opposite. Like the more that people praise me, not the worse that I feel, but the more that I want to keep working and building. Like I try not to let it get to me and almost take the opposite route. I'm like, all right, we haven't accomplished anything yet. No matter how much we make, no matter how much we grow, it's like, it's just microscopic compared to where we believe the vision can go to. And so that's just like my number one mindset. I've also met so many people that have met, you know, like they've grown their own big communities and it gets to them. You could see that it gets to them. They have the ego and they think they're like, you know, like the big person or whatever. But the reality is like whatever they built is still microscopic in the grand scheme of things. And it's cool for them that they're doing well, but it's just not what I want to become. Like I want to just make sure I stay down to earth no matter what happens.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I want you on the podcast is because I'm very fascinated with what you do. Yeah. It's incredible. You basically make AI models.
Yeah. We would call them creators or influencers, but you could call them models. They're all girls, of course. Yeah.
You make AI creators and influencers. Yeah. Which is insane.
Yeah. It's completely crazy.
And you have like thousands.
We have thousands. And it started with just an idea. Honestly, a couple years ago, we were kind of in the influencer and the creator space, and we're just, you know, we were having the same problems that everybody else has, which is that the creators, they don't want to do the work, they don't want to film, etc. And we saw AI becoming a thing. And generally with technology, similar to social media, when something starts working early on, it's, you know, it's a good indicator that it's going to kind of become much bigger in the future, right? With social media, if you see something work, there's probably a good shot that thing could be viral or that thing can make a lot of money for you. And so it's a good idea to triple down on it. And so we saw this, and this was back in 2023, and we're like, we have to start working on this right away. Now, the first idea that we had was this idea of cloning the real girls. So we're like, well, if they don't want to do the work, but we kind of have the brands, we can make like a clone version of them. And then we just have all the content and we could just, you know, go crazy with it, right? Because we wouldn't have this restriction. But then the tech started getting so good, we were like, oh, we don't even need the girl in the first place. We could just have the tech and, you know, make 100% AI creators, not based on anyone, but just, you know, completely AI. And so we started working on that. And then we realized that, okay, well, this is so much bigger than just like an agency level business. What if we could have hundreds of thousands of AI creators, millions of AI creators, all different types of niches? And so we worked on it for a while. It took a long time to get all the infrastructure in place, which is, you know, relatively complicated. Eventually that happened and we started running them internally. Immediately successful, like crazy viral, crazy monetization. And we would show people, and this was back in 2024, right? This was like over a year ago at this point, from the time of when we're filming this podcast, and nobody believed us then. And even now, a year later, people still don't believe that they can make money, right? So now we've at a point where we've turned into like an official, I would call enterprise level business. We've built out a lot of infrastructure around it, all of which we own, whether it's marketing infrastructure, education infrastructure, or kind of onboarding and payment infrastructure. And now we're kind of just looking to scale it to tens of thousands of users kind of running the creators. And that's kind of a little bit about the journey the last couple of years we've been on.
So if somebody's watching this and they're thinking, okay, what kind of creators? It's like OnlyFans.
Yeah, I would say kind of like that. But I think when people hear that word, there's like a negative connotation and they start thinking about sort of like the adult side. We always like to talk about the social media side. Like my business is 100% focused on that. There is obviously a monetization side, but that's kind of either handled for you or done by the user. But the real money is in the brands. It's in the social media, right? It's not in the content, right? The content is only the after effect that you get for going viral, right?
Sure.
So what I'm really good at is going viral on social media, right? Like I know how to do it for these creators. I've grown tens of millions of followers. Our community this year has grown like 100 million across every major platform: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Threads. We have audience everywhere now. And it's only, developing over time. And so what I teach is how to actually take the AI content and turn it into a viral brand. That's it. Like that's the fundamental high value skill set that leads to people making money, right?
Is there people that use your models and not go down the OnlyFans path and go for more making her an influencer and having like brand?
So the answer is we will get there eventually, but not yet, right? So right now we're building it in a manner where the current way that we monetize is like selling content. Right now, the content that they sell, we don't know if it's an SFW podcast, but of course, like what guys want, we sell them, right? We have all that stuff available. But in the future, I believe that the brands will become, completely like movie star level, like full ad, like everything that you can imagine a real human doing, the AI will do and more, right? So if you have a big brand, right, you have millions of followers, at the end of the day, how does that separate you from a real person? If the technology can do everything that a real person can do, and the people that follow you are invested in your brand the same way that a real person has people invested in their brand, how is there any difference, right? Now, for the audience watching, it might be hard for them to visualize that, right? But when Bitcoin was $300, did you visualize it becoming digital gold? If you did, you'd be really rich, right? And so the opportunity in the growth of the technology is right now, right? It's not 5 years from now where this exists, right? When that happens, the opportunity is gone. You need to look for the next thing. And so I feel like we're in a unique position because we were we were extremely early on to the trend, right? And we've believed in it from the beginning. And even now, people still don't believe in it. I'm like, what do you not believe in? These girls are growing unbelievable amounts of audience on social media. The audience never expires, right? That's the audience is the fundamental value that you're getting out of the creator, not the monetization side, right? We happen to be monetizing with the current way that we're doing because that's what makes money. But in 2 years from now, if there's another way to make more money, the brand is where the value is, right? The brand is still going to exist. The audience is still going to exist. They're going to move wherever you tell them to move, right? And so I think that that's like the big disconnect that people have is they only focus on the short-term monetization, not the long-term value of the brand, and we grew 100 million followers this year, like we could legitimately grow billions of followers over the next couple of years. And I believe that's exactly what's going to happen. People are getting rich from it already.
Yeah.
But they own the brands, Imagine what will happen 2-3 years from now as the technology changes. It's going to be insane.
I mean, I told you this when I first met you. I said to you, you're going to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
You've got over 1,000 online AI models.
Yeah, several thousand now.
Several thousand. And collectively, you have 100 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram and the other platforms, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, like all the platforms.
And you own all of them. All these goals that you've created.
Yeah. So I would say that the way our business works is sort of like a licensing deal where the user that comes in and runs the creator, they do own those socials and, they're their socials, they're their brands, but they're contractually obligated to run on the platforms that we own, and so that's the nature of it. So the way that the business works is there's no cost to sign up, right? So at the beginning, when we first launched this model, people were highly skeptical because previously, there would be obviously like a price to any kind of info product, which this is, of course, right? I am teaching people how to do things, and monetizing from it. But usually people would sell a course or they would sell a mentorship. But the problem with that model, at least with respect to what we're trying to achieve, is it has a higher floor, but a much lower ceiling, right? If you charge a few $1,000s for something, there's really only so many people in the whole world that can actually afford to pay a few $1,000s for something. But if you give it for free, now everybody has an equal opportunity to make something happen. And I'll give this example. This is like the higher end of outcomes, but we have someone from our community. He's from the Philippines. And so if I'm sure if you're watching this, you're aware that, you know, the earning, the salaries in the Philippines are not as high. This month, his AI creators will do $150,000 US in gross revenue.
Wow.
And so if he ends up netting even 50% from that, I mean, that is like the top 0.0001% or whatever in the Philippines. Like he's rich. Like he's legitimately rich. That would be way more than someone making $1 million US in Dubai. Way more.
Way more.
It wouldn't even be close. Like that's like
way
10
more.
or 20 million in Dubai or something.
Way more.
So he came into our offer, randomly found it, signed up for free, watched our education, and made it happen. And we have tons of other people from all kinds of demographics, girls and guys, who have done the same, you know?
Yeah.
And so that guy would never have had that opportunity if we didn't provide the service and gave it for free.
Correct.
Right? So our value from it, to be transparent, is that we own the monetization platform that all of this happens on. And we also have an additional value in the creator, right? So like in the traditional real creator ecosystem, you would kind of have a splitting profit model between the creator, but the platform would still take 20 points, right? So you have 100% pie, 20 to the platform. It leaves you 80 with the creator, right? And now you would have to split it, right? Maybe you would get 60% or whatever the number is, but generally speaking, you would have to split it. That would leave you 40%. But with ours, the platform still gets 20. The cost to run is still the same. We take an extra 20, but now you get 60, which is automatically a better deal than most situations with the real creator. But you also get all the value. You get the creator, you get the education, you get our tools. We don't charge for any of it. And it's kind of like forever. You know what I mean? Like they can't quit. You know, it's like you're the one that runs the brand. The girl can't quit. She can't age out. She can't mature. She can't have her boyfriend decide, man, you know, oh, I'm going to take over the business. I mean, anyone that's done the OF side of the world has experienced these things 100%. They can't scam you for the money, right? Because the money doesn't go through the creator or a proxy. It comes directly from the platform to your pocket. So I think there's a lot of benefits for that reason to offer it for free rather than to charge. And it's proven to work so far this year.
Listen, 150,000. Yeah, he's a billionaire.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In Philippines.
I'm so proud of him. Like I watched the growth, and it's like when he first started, he came because he originally was like a chatter in the OF world. And then he found our offer. He was like, well, he was interested in the idea of AI. He was like, well, I think I could do this whole business by myself, but I can't really get a creator, right? So it's easy to say, oh, just sign a real girl, right? It's so much, but well, it's not that easy to do. There's only so many of them, number one. Number two, the larger agencies generally like kind of monopolize the space and they're able to capture all the audience, including the creators. You know, number three, it's really hard to deal with them. And if you're from like a third world country, you might have a lot of value, but are they really going to trust you? Maybe not, you know? And so with the AI, anyone can do it. Now, he originally started and he wasn't able to kind of go viral. So he was doing other ways to bring in traffic. There's all kinds of ways on the social medias that you can drive traffic. But eventually he watched our education, he learned, and now he is a massive viral brand for one of his creators. And she had a video that got roughly like 12 or 13 million views on Instagram.
Wow.
And it was just like a video of her like looking into the camera, but her brand on Instagram went from 10,000 followers to 250,000 in 10 days.
And just from that one video?
Well, obviously he was posting more, but that video, of course, like, you know, it catapulted the brand. And then he used a lot of the stuff that we teach, which is kind of this idea of really pouncing on virals. You know, when something goes viral, it's proof that it works, right? Like Instagram is a data aggregator. It's literally telling you what is good and what is bad. And so when people complain that they're not getting the reach they want, it's literally the social media telling you, well, your posting isn't good. Yeah. But if you post something and it does well, okay, fantastic. It's like, keep using it, keep posting it. And so, you know, he took that to heart. He got it viral. He posted it like 50 more times, like a variation of it. And several of them got like 1,800,000, whatever. And now the brand's huge. And once you have that big brand, I'm sure, as you know, it's easier to keep scaling and snowball, you know, the account basically. So it's just, it's crazy. But circling back to the core idea of the AI creators and the business, basically there's three parts to the business, right? For AI, at least. There's the creation of the actual like base content, right? Like you have to make the creator. The second thing, of
Which
course,
you do.
which we basically give away, right? The second thing is the branding and the marketing and the production of the content for social media, which is different, right? Anybody can go to any one of these AI generator things and fire it up and make a photo of a girl, right? That's easy to do. But can you actually make a photo that's going to go viral? That's a completely different thing. Can you actually take that photo, turn it into videos, which technology exists for us, to do that? We have our own technology for that as well. Can you actually do that and make it go viral? So that's a different skill set. Now, the final skill set is essentially monetizing the brand, right? Sales, monetization of the brand, all of that stuff. 3 basically complicated skill sets. Now, in the traditional real creator world, the girl does a lot of the marketing. Now, I'm sure a lot of the guys say that they do a lot of the marketing. At the end of the day, if the idea in that world is basically, well, we're just going to sign the girl and she already has a brand. And, because she already has a brand, it's easier for us to market. Are you really doing that much marketing, right? You're not starting the brand, right? You're not building a viral idea and building viral content, from the beginning, right? Which is a completely different thing. And then from there, the actual production of the content is a lot easier. Maybe you have a team and editing and video, but you're not actually sitting there using technology to make the content, which is a different skill set, right? And then the sales side, which in my opinion, in the real world is the primary skill set. The girl makes a lot of the content. She promotes a lot of the content. Okay, well, she doesn't want to do the monetization. So the agencies there, they do the monetization. In the AI creator world, it's kind of different than that, right? Most of your time is spent on the creation of the content and the marketing of the content, and a lot less on the monetization. Now, for the average person, can the average person handle all 3 of those things? What do you think?
No.
I don't think so either. It's hard, number one, most people that are trying to make money online, they don't have all day to sit around and tons of liquidity. They have lives, they have jobs, they have families. It's a lot of work, that's number one. Number 2, most people only ever operate successfully when they're focused on one thing. Very few people can actually build a cohesive business focused on several different things, because that requires a team. It requires operations. Okay. You need someone focusing on the content. You need someone focusing on the marketing. You need someone focusing on the sales, and you need to be smart enough to coordinate all of that and understand how to do all of those things yourself, which very few people know how to do, right? Now, our business model, the idea that we have is, can we just remove a lot of these headaches for people and let them focus on one thing, the most important thing,
marketing,
which is the marketing, by far the most important, right? But if you need to spend all your time worrying about sales, can you focus on the marketing?
Wait, does that mean you provide chatters?
We have that as well. Yeah. And eventually it will be AI. I've told people.
Really? Chatters will be AI?
100%. I've told people for a long time that I think that the least valuable skill in the entire business is the sales and monetization side. And then they laugh at me. They're like, because that's all they know. For years, that's how they've been running their business. The real creators come to them. They need the chatting. So they provide it, and then they take a percentage of the business. But I don't believe that that's going to have that much of a lifespan in comparison to actually owning the brands, And so it might be easy to say, oh, you could just fire up a real creator who already has a bit of a brand and make 10 or 15K a month, but you're not actually building anything of value at that point, right? Your only skill set as an agency at that point is going to be replaced, number one. Number 2, you don't own the socials. You don't own the brand. The girl does, right? So if she decides to leave or retire, you basically get nothing out of it.
Of course.
It's not a business, right?
Yeah.
If you have a business, you need to be building assets to grow over time.
Yeah.
Right. So when I look at the business, our basically KPI is how much are we actually growing on social media? Because the money doesn't matter, right? If we grow 1 billion followers, we will make money forever. Right. And that's the idea. It's like, how can we get rich from this? Not for a week or a month or a few months, but for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
How can we retire our bloodlines from this? It's possible if you have the right mindset. Right. And so from a business perspective, we need to remove the headache for 2 out of the 3 of the complications of the business. Right. We need to provide the pre-made creator brand, because that's really hard to do. And 99.999% of people have no idea how to do it. So even if they're actually, finagling a little bit and they're able to make some content, are they really going viral? Are they really monetizing? Can they even build the monetization content? The answer is no. But we've been doing this business for years, so we know exactly how a creator goes viral, what kind of content goes viral, what kind of content actually sells in the DMs, how to set up a page so it actually monetizes. Nobody knows how to do these things, right? I could also teach someone how to do it. That could take a long time. It's hard, it's like it could take months to learn how to do those things properly. And we need to move faster than that, right? The speed of which we can bring someone in, teach them social media, and get them going viral is literally the difference between us making 100 million or billions of dollars from this business. That's the difference. It doesn't matter if anybody knows how to chat or sell stuff. It makes no difference. It doesn't matter if anybody knows how to create the brand themselves. It makes no difference, right? And so we create the content for you. We teach you how to go viral with that content. So immediately you get content, go viral, right? You get content. You don't have to worry about making. Another thing to consider. People underestimate how much content a brand actually needs, right? Whether you're dealing with a real creator or AI, right? There's a whole year. You got to post every day, 2-3 times a day, right? We're talking about hundreds of pieces of content, maybe thousands for a year. Okay. So a lot of people sell the AI creators with like a few hundred photos. What are you going to do with that? It's completely useless at that point, right? And so you need something where you can have unlimited content. We provide that as well. We provide image generators for you built in with your model, meaning like on your platform, the model is there. You want to make more content, you have unlimited that you can make, right? So you have the model, you have the monetization side sorted for you. What can you focus on? That one important thing. So all our big users, which we have a lot of them now, that's all they do, right? They come in, they learn about the offer. They're like, okay, I want to focus on the creator. I want this one. They choose that one. They start going viral. And then from there, we handle the monetization side for them, right? And so, of course, we take a little bit of a percentage for all these things. At the end of the day, anyone serious about scale knows that they have to give up a little bit of a percentage of their business to actually scale, right? With our offer, the second that you get that one successful creator, we just give you another one. So you don't have to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, I got to make a new one. I got to do this. It's like, that takes a long time. And so it's limiting the scale of people. We have people that are running 5, 10, 15 creators already because we just keep giving them more. I think that there's a lot to be said for that as a core business concept. It's similar to Shopify, right? Like Shopify provides you all the tools, all the SaaS services, all the software, and it's really easy to plug in your product to start selling, right? And now millions and millions of people around the world can just have a product immediately sell because they have all the software sorted for them. Okay, well now millions and millions of people around the world, they want to make money as an influencer on social media. Here's the product, right? Or here's the software. Just go market it, right? We should cut that and redo it. I want to basically millions of people around the world now, they have the software and they have the product and all they have to do is go market it. They don't have to worry about coming up with some unique invention, spending tons of money to warehouse it or, make shirts for it or whatever it is, right? They don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Here's the digital product. Go market it. Everything else is sorted for you. All the tech is sorted for you. That's like a groundbreaking idea. You know what I mean? In comparison to saying, hey, you have to come in and we're going to teach you how to use this tech and we're going to teach you how to use this tech and it's all spread out and you have to put all this extra money in. It's a huge nightmare. And the success rate of that is extremely low. And I think that's why there's pushback on this idea that AI creators can make money because a lot of guys who have made money from creators or from social media, they see it and they see this idea. They're like, okay, this is obviously something that's cool. AI is a buzzword. Let me try it out. But then they try it and they're like, whoa, this is so much harder than I thought. There's so much that goes into it. I don't want to do this. I'd rather just deal with a real girl. She already has a brand, just, hey, go film It's easier in theory to do that. But in the long run, you don't get any more benefit. You get significantly less benefit, right? So to me, it makes sense to focus on the AI side. That's kind of my perspective on the business.
I love your business model. I really do.
Thank you.
And I tried to get you to come on my podcast a while ago.
Yeah.
But you weren't ready.
No, I wasn't ready yet.
But I'm glad you're doing it now because I think it's a great business model. And I think it is the Shopify of OnlyFans, right? Or of OF. Like you're basically setting people up straight away to be able to make money.
Yeah.
And you've got videos to teach them how to do it.
Yeah. 70 hours of education for free.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to run through the how to. This section of the podcast is going to be a how to run a successful AI OnlyFans agency.
Got it.
Okay. So you go on AIcreators.com.
AIcreatormarketplace.com.
AIcreatormarketplace.com.
There's a marketplace of creators. You choose the one that you want. Right. And so there's all types of different, brands and
which there's going to be a link below as well.
Use the link down in the description.
Okay.
And so you could just go to the marketplace. You choose the one that you want.
Okay.
They're all good in my opinion, but generally speaking, we notice that people, they gravitate towards what they in their mind think is attractive, not necessarily what makes money, because those are two different things, like what you want to consume is different than what actually monetizes, right?
Sure.
And so we get some feedback that, I don't feel that this looks real because in their mind, they think they can't make money from it. Well, I would just say to that we made the creators the way we did for a reason because we believe that it has the highest likelihood of success in actually making money. So you choose the one you want. All the different niches are available. blonde girls, Asian creators, like whatever you wanted exists down there. You can choose. You have to verify your ID and be 18 or older, of course. Once you complete that verification, you get approved. We send you a notification. You get access to our community. And then the main thing that I would say is you got to watch the education, right? Because we have amazing education. I poured my heart and soul into it. And we also have other people that I've now brought on who are successful, like operators or the creators that are providing education as well. And it teaches you kind of A to Z how to do everything. The first step that we explain to do is to go and familiarize yourself with the monetization platform that we work with, which is called FanPlace. That's where the creator is. And then from there, we basically teach you how to set up a simple profile. That whole setup maybe takes like a day, not like 24 hours of time, but like, a day of sitting there and watching the education. And at the end of the day, if you can't do that, then you're never going to make money from anything, So
correct.
You sit there, you watch the education for a couple hours, you learn, go set up the simple FanPlace account. What that allows you to do is receive the traffic, And so now you don't have to worry about your conversion because I've taught you how to build an account that converts, right? And from there, what do? Immediately, we just explain how social media works and how to start going viral. You need to set up social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. We teach you how to set up landing pages and we provide them completely for free. We teach you how to use our generators and how to actually make the content into reels. And we teach you this idea of what an actual viral piece of content is, which most people don't know, right? Like they think in their mind, oh, I made this cool video. It must go viral. It has nothing to do with anything, right? Virality is basically proof of concept from the socials itself, right? You see it all the time. There's a trend. Everybody copies it. They go viral, right? It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. I'm not the most creative guy when it comes to making the content. What I am really good at is systemizing and scaling an approach to using proven viral concepts for the AI creators. That's a different thing, Am I coming up with the unique viral ideas? No. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Our most successful operators they're not doing that. They're just saying, hey, this is what's working on social media. I need to make versions of that with the AI creators. Now, the skill, which is not easy to do, but we do teach you how to do it, is actually using the technology to make the viral content. It's not easy to do. It requires hard work. We don't like to lie to people and say, hey, you're going to come do this and you're going to get rich quick. If you want to get rich quick, you can go buy a scam course, but if you want to actually, learn something for real and build real skills over time, we will teach you everything you need to know for free and give you all the tools required to make it happen. We also teach you how to actually boost and use your money if you have it towards your business, right? So what I like to tell people is don't give me your money, invest the money back into yourself. Right? For most courses, they ask for thousands of dollars up front. Screw that, in my opinion. Just take the money and invest it into ads to build your brand up, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to spend the money anyways, spend it on your business, right? Like everybody always says you need money to make money.
Yeah.
Well, I think that this is the same. Now we have had people, like I mentioned, that Filipino, he started from scratch. Well, he worked very hard for that, right? But a lot of our successful operators, they've invested $100, $200 in the first month, not into us, but into the content, into the marketing, into the ads to help boost their brands up. We give you a whole curriculum about how to do that effectively, why it works, how to choose content, how to build the actual brand to make it go viral. There's a lot of little intricacies of the social media in terms of your branding that helps your growth, right? We also teach you how to kind of use some external tools that you can plug into your brand to help you monetize. One of the complications with social media is that it takes time to grow, right? And so that's why a lot of people, they don't want to do the AI because they're like, well, if I have to start from zero, it doesn't move fast enough for me. I'd rather just sign a creator and, finagle my way to making 10K per month. And I'm like, that's all good and dandy, but it's really short term. And it's not a real business. It's more of like a hustle, A real business takes time to develop, right? I'm not saying you're going to get rich in the first month, but what I am saying is you're going to learn a lot of valuable stuff. You're going to develop your marketing skills. You're going to build your brand and it's going to compound. Once that first creator starts going viral, you're going to start getting subscribers in, right? Well, if you don't know what to do with those subscribers, number one, I've taught you in the education how to build a profile that doesn't even need chatters to make money. There are ways to do that. And we have an account that made $150,000 in 1 month, AI creators, and has done like over 100K for basically the entire year. No chatters on the page. So everybody says that you need chatters to make money. I call BS. You don't need that. What you need is a proper system to make money. Ask yourself, does any e-commerce store have chatters sitting there talking to you?
Huh.
No, of course not, because the store is optimized for when you come in to purchase the things that they want you to purchase, to see the things that they want you to see. It's all structured extremely meticulously so that they make money, right? So they monetize their traffic. How is our business any different? It's digital products, right? Every girl is its own e-commerce store. Now, we have the benefit of having chatters to add to the monetization, but you don't need them to make money, right? And so when your page does get big enough, you can either hire chatters, which we have an entire curriculum for free, dozens of hours of content teaching you how to monetize, or you can use our in-house. We'll onboard you quickly. We do take an added fee for that.
How much is the fee?
We take either 15 or 20% of only the messages and tips. So the way that it works on AICreatorMarketplace.com is you see your creator and you see a breakdown of every single percentage. So there's 4 ways to make money. There's subscriptions, there's post sales, there's message sales, and there's tips. So we only take the tips and the messages. So you'll see 60% of subscriptions and of posts, and you'll see either 40 or 45%. The difference is basically how much you make. For bigger accounts and creators, we give a discount, right? Compared to the market, I think the rate that we offer is extremely fair. Yeah. And I think the service we provide is fair. And if you do the math, it'll probably work out to you netting roughly 50% on your brand if you use our chatters. I mean, 50%.
Are they good?
I think they're pretty good. I mean, like we have 90% of all our big operators use them, you know, and so I think they're pretty good.
90% of your big operators use them. Yeah. Now, if somebody was to come, make a new account and then say, hey, I want you guys to do the chatting for me, would you say yes or no? Would you say no first?
We would say no first, but not because we don't want to do it for you, but because there's no point worrying about it, right? The education is designed to have you focus on something that you have to get out of the way, which is just like the creation of the simple fan place profile so you can actually receive traffic. And then from there, it's just purely social media, right? Nothing else matters. You need to grow on social media. If you grow on social media, you will make money. Like we'll literally see the subs coming in and we'll reach out to you and be like, hey, like let's set up chatters. Some people, by the way, have been skeptical of them. And then they're like, oh, is it too much percentage? It's like, now they think the opposite. They're like, please, we want your chatters. The reason why is because they realize they don't have to worry about that side of the business anymore. I mentioned 3 parts, right? Content, marketing, sales, right? We deal with the content and we deal with the sales. So now someone that previously would only be able to run 1 or 2 creators, maybe kind of, you know, in a midway, now they can run 5 or 6 creators, which we give for free, by the way, all of them. And they're huge creators now because they can focus all their attention on the social media marketing. They end up making way more money at scale. It's not even remotely close, right? The success we're seeing. And so yeah, basically.
Okay, so you would say, hey, listen, there's no point in us taking on board the chatting for you now, because obviously you haven't grown it.
There's no point. Yeah.
But once you've grown it and we see that you've growing it and so at the beginning, they would have to organize their own chatters. Yeah. And once they're doing it, then they transfer to you guys.
That or not even bother hiring them and just use our other monetization capabilities. They can send mass messages. They can do a little chatting themselves. They can post, you know, make posts that are, you know, locked posts to the feed. And all those ways make money. At the end of the day, if you're not bringing in traffic, it doesn't make that much of a difference if you have chatters or not, right? Like this little we're trying to make a lot of money here, right? So you need to go viral and worry about that. And this is kind of the delayed gratification that a lot of people don't like, right? Like they want that instant hit. So what do? Someone like promotes that they can, you know, give you some done for you service that makes all this money and pay us like tens of thousands. You want to pay me tens of thousands of dollars? I'll give you the same thing. You know, it's like, like all the value that we're giving is amazing. It's equal to if I was charging for, you know, 10 or 20 or $50,000 or whatever it is. People have offered to buy the creators from us. I'm like, okay, millions of dollars then. Like there's no number that we would ever sell it for. Yeah. You know, it doesn't exist. And so at the end of the day, there has to be a delayed gratification because the person that's coming into our offer, they fundamentally have no skills related to this business because if they did, they'd already be making money.
Sure.
Right. Sure. And so how can you expect to make any money from something if you have no skills? Yeah. So we teach you the skills. Like we actually give you a full university course, how to grow on social media, and it will pay off for you, but you need to learn those skills and commit to it. If you can't commit to something serious for a year, you're never going to make money, right? Or you're just going to have shiny object syndrome and keep dumping yourself in different things and nothing ever is going to come from it. So
correct. Okay. So back to our curriculum on how to set up a AI creator agency, right? So you go there, you choose the model, you apply for it, you get accepted, you do the verification, all that stuff. Then you start social media, right?
Yep.
Then you start social media. You have Threads. You've got Instagram,
Facebook,
all that
TikTok,
stuff,
Twitter, everything.
right? So then you start there. Then you have your own chatting person that you do, or you chat yourself, and then once you can kind of show it, and then you kind of bring him to you guys, and you guys can do the chatters. But here's the thing, for the Instagram, where they have to create the content, where do they create the content?
So we have a lot of stuff built into the platform now where they can use our tech to kind of make images into videos. We have a lot more stuff coming for that. That's going to be really exciting in the next like month or two. And I'll explain a little bit in a second about that. We also teach you how to use some of the external services that exist. There's a lot of great AI services like Seedream and FreePick and Nano Banana and all these things to kind of alter the content to maybe help it go viral. But in my opinion, the base content that we give is extremely good, and many people have made a lot of money just using that base content.
Like your 150K Filipino guy, does he use or would you know?
He uses a little bit of external stuff because I know the content, I know what he uses to make it, but mostly he just uses the content that we give him, to be honest. And then he just turns them into videos. He has a strategy for the kind of virals that he's making. And
you have the built-in technology to make those videos
directly on Fanplace.
Directly on Fanplace.
Yeah. And we're building more too. So like the tech is changing. In the future, you're going to have girls doing like TikTok dances. You're going to have girls doing lip sync. You're going to have girls like with their own custom voices that are completely human. Like right now, the AI voice stuff it's kind of a little wishy-washy in my opinion. And sure, you can maybe finesse it in some ways, but I kind of care the most about the brand. And so if anything damages the brand in a way that, doesn't make the creator believable, I probably recommend not to do it. And so the value in AI, like this is where the money is made. It's about taking the AI creator and making her appear as real as possible. So like if you can see, okay, this real creator posted this viral reel, right? And you can make your AI creator replicate that viral reel, like you're set for life, basically. Like you're going to make a lot of money, in my opinion. And so you might say, well, why not just do it with a real girl instead? Right? Well, go find one then, go do it. It's like, it's not the easiest. If it was so easy, everyone would do it.
Correct.
It's hard. In my opinion, with the OFN industry, there's been like a lot of like buzz for maybe a few years. And I kind of think it's, maybe a little bit of the buzz is done. It's like people are obviously going to keep making money from it. I'm not saying AI is going to replace it. It's not going to go away, but I think like new entrants to the space are kind of, people kind of know what it is now. A few years ago, it was exciting. It was new. It caught my attention. It caught lots of people's attention. And I think a lot of people tried it and they're like, okay, they're on to the next thing. I think AI will be kind of that situation for a lot of people, but some will stick with it. But in my opinion, like the ability to own the brand, and not have to rely on the creator it's a game changer in my opinion. Also you get better profit split in my opinion as well. So,
okay. So, somebody goes, hey, I want your AI creator I'm going to pay him $20 and I want that person to be, walking on a treadmill. You go on your platform, Fanplace.
Yeah.
And then you
need a content and then you move that content over to,
what do you mean you need a content?
Like you need to like choose a piece of content that you want to be the base content.
Oh, like an example content.
An example content.
From another model.
Yeah. You'll move that content over to a platform like FreePick where you'll use a reference photo, right? So you can take that like treadmill photo or a screenshot from the video that you saw, use it as a reference photo. The AI will take that reference, combine it with basically the AI that we have, and then make that AI creator in that situation. Now, it might take a bunch of generations to get it right, but once you do get it right, you can basically keep iterating using the content, right? The reference photo can now become your new reference, if that makes sense. And you can keep iterating till you have the final piece. Once you have that final piece, you turn it into a video. You might have to edit that video together a little bit. You add your captions, you add your viral audio, and that's how you have your reel. So it is a process, right? Like it isn't just a 1, 2, 3. I mean, I think some people, they see the marketing for all the AI creator stuff and AI OFM stuff, whatever, and they think that there's like this like magic solution that there's no magic, right? Like you have to work hard and grow the brands. But I think that the relative cost and time to make viral content is like pennies on the dollar compared to the real industry. Whereas the real industry, you got to get the girl and you got to get her in the location and you got to get the outfit and you got to film it and you got to edit it. It's kind of just you from your computer. It's a 1/1000th of the price, both in the actual cost and time, And then once you get in the groove of it, then you're really cooking. Our biggest agencies, they've just kind of outsourced and automated all the creation process. So they have teams of VAs now making the content for them, and they're just directing what content they're making. It's like now you're moving really fast at that point, right? So the speed that you can scale is kind of absurd. I mean, to have like an 8 creator real girl agency takes a long time to build, right? Yeah. You need to have the infrastructure. You need to have the know-how. You need to find the girls. You need to onboard the girls. You need to get their brands going, right? With the AI, the second you have the infrastructure set up, we'll just give you 5 creators. You want 5? Here. You're making money, no problem, right? So just the speed and efficiency is insane compared to the real creator space.
And you don't have to deal with people.
Yeah, it's so much better, you know?
So much easier. So much better.
So fine, you have to hire VAs, whatever. Yeah. It's nothing compared to dealing with
well, you're gonna need VAs anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna need VAs anyways when you have a real model. Because I've done a lot of podcasts with like Marcus Hustle, who's like a godfather in the OF space. Mm-hmm. And you're still gonna need VAs for all that for real girls anyway. So it doesn't make a difference. And he's like, he was telling me like one of the girls would be like, oh, it's International Women's Day and you didn't wish me into, it's like, oh my God, like we're just trying to make money here, you know?
It's hard to mix personal with business. And oftentimes with the girls, they care a lot about their emotions and the feel.
Correct.
And it's kind of hard to be that way in business when it's all about efficiency and logic and scale, right? And so it's like with the AI creators, you're the one that gets to do all of that. You don't have to worry about any of the emotional side that doesn't exist, right? So you can't really blame anybody. It's 100% on yourself to make the money. I think that's another reason people are kind of uncomfortable. Like this idea that it's 100% on you and you have to start from zero and you can't just message the girl and say, film this. You have to actually go and produce the content. It's an uncomfortable state, for an industry that in my opinion has been pretty complacent for a long time, being in the OFM space. And I think that complacency will continue to make their earnings go down, which generally speaking, they have been trending down across that industry for several years now.
Really?
100%. And
it's going down.
I don't think, I'm not saying that the people aren't making money, you know, but I think that the average creator is earning less. We speak to a lot of them. In our opinion, it doesn't mean they're not making money. It just means that compared to the peak times in 2021 and 2022, things are kind of trending down a little bit and they're not able to make as much as they once did. The platform is completely bricked up. You know what I mean? There's a lot of spam on the platform now. It is what it is, right? That's just what happens over time, you know? And so I think that there's a lot of opportunity to kind of capture that audience that wants to spend with AI. I would also say that in my opinion, I think that one argument is also, well, you know, the AI is not human-like and the AI is never going to be like, this is complete nonsense of the highest regard. Number one, there's only so much a real girl can actually do. You know what I mean? There's only so much work that they can actually put out. There's only so much output, you know? And so you can just do way more with the AI creator. It just leads to way more money. That's number one. Number two, when the tech gets there, which I don't think it's 5 years away, I think it's like, 6 to 12 months away to actually being like longer form video and everything. The AI can now do unlimited stuff, And so what are you going to do? Like send your girl all over the country and have her do crazy stuff? No one's going to do that, but with the AI, you can have it do anything. Any type of brand or niche is now achievable with the AI, right? Any type of content that somebody wants is now achievable with the AI, right? The actual product of this industry, in my opinion, overall is pretty bad. And there's a lot of interest around all kinds of different niches that people, they would love to spend money on, but the product doesn't even exist in the first place. So AI to me is just filling that gap in the market. It's providing all those products, right? Anything that the real girl can currently do, which by the way is way overstated because most of them are not even going to do that work day to day in the first place. The AI will be able to do voice notes, video stuff, whatever you want, it will be able to eventually do, right? The problem is if everybody has the product because the AI can do it, then who makes the money? Right? That's why I keep talking about social media being the most important thing, right? If everybody has a product, then why is someone going to go to your creator, right? You have to be able to brand her. You have to be able to market her. You need the audience. So the audience starts now, right? If you build 1 million followers now, it's not going anywhere, right? And so in 2 years from now, if the tech improves to a point where there's more capabilities to monetize, which I'm not saying there aren't now, we have many girls doing 6 figures plus, which is a lot of money, of course, right? Those girls could become 7-figure girls, in my opinion, when the tech improves, right? So, I'm excited about that. I think it's way overstated that girls who are real can do all this extra stuff. I just don't believe that that's the case. And number one. Number two, the AI will just be able to do everything that a real girl can do. And then another thing I hear is like imperfections, well, the AI is too perfect. This complete nonsense of the highest regard, Number one, if the AI is too perfect, you can just train it to make the imperfections eventually, right?
Sure.
We have girls that aren't perfect looking girls making a lot of money that are AI, right? You can just make whatever you want, right? So you want an imperfect looking girl? Fine, we'll just make one, you know? So this idea that doesn't exist is complete nonsense, number one.
I mean, AI has gotten so good that it's too perfect now.
Like, it's all about the branding and the marketing as well. And at the end of the day, like, most of the stuff you see on social media is fake regardless. And so it's about giving a product, right? I think another argument that people make is that no one will be able to know that no one will actually believe that it's real when we make millions of dollars every month. You know, it's like, I think we're proof of that. Yeah. And we're not out there blasting that these girls aren't real. It's like the whole point is to give the guy the real connection. And then someone would say, well, isn't that deceiving? You know, I don't think it is. Like, it's just marketing, right? Like, is it deceiving when someone buys a Lamborghini but can't actually afford one to sell a course? Is that deceiving? Is that so is that allowed, but this isn't allowed, right? Sure. At the end of the day, all you're doing is you're marketing a product. Yeah. And someone is coming in and you're providing them that product for them to purchase. Correct. It just happens to be an AI girl. Who cares, right? Yeah. It's just numbers on a screen. It doesn't matter, right? Yeah. So people get too attached to these like emotional ideas about like, you know, what's good and what's bad. And at the end of the day, they're mostly just spewing nonsense half the time anyways, you know? And so I don't believe any of that stuff. I'm like, we're just giving a product to the market. We're growing on social media. How we're making money now is one way to do it. The content we're selling doesn't even exist. It's not real. Yeah, you're just selling technology. Yeah, it's just technology.
I mean, it's just supply and demand. If there was no one buying ice cream, then there'd be no ice cream shops, right?
There'd be less fat people too.
Yeah, true. So my question is, do these guys that spend all this money, do these guys know it's AI?
In my opinion, no, but some might. You know, I think that...
Like, I just want to know openly, do they say this is an AI girl and they pay money?
No, we don't. We don't promote it that way. We don't promote it as a real one either. We just promote it as a girl.
As a girl.
But the whole purpose of the content being as good as it is that you can make a brand that's 100% believable as real.
Got it.
That's the key, right?
Got it.
Like, if you can't make a brand that's 100% believable as real and you slip up in your content, I think you'll lower your monetization, right?
Got it.
And so that's kind of the trick of the trade, which is not an easy thing to do. Yeah. We're pretty good because we have this tech that can scale out lots of extremely real looking creator brands. We teach people how to make the content that comes across, you know, extremely real. That's the trick. Yeah. Now, other people, they like promote it out front that the girl isn't real and she's like a digital or an AI influencer. That's fine. You know, you could still do that and you can still make money, but I don't think it's the optimal way to approach the making money, right? To me, I don't think there's any difference between this girl and a real girl. You know, the content that you can make and produce is mostly the same. They look mostly the same. You can't really tell the difference from most of them, right? So why would you promote it differently? Why would you brand it differently? It doesn't make any sense to me, you know? Yeah. What's the difference, you know? Yeah. So you have a real girl that nobody's ever going to meet, right? Making content, TikToks, whatever. And the guy comes to the OF and he buys it. And then you have an AI girl that nobody's ever going to meet that's making content that you're promoting and they come to the fan place and they buy. What's the difference?
Nothing.
There's no difference fundamentally at all. It's just the mindset that people put themselves in, right? They convince themselves that they can't make money with it. They convince themselves that nobody's ever going to buy it, right? It's complete nonsense of the higher regard. In my opinion, like over time, this AI space will completely overwhelm the real space because it's just a numbers game, you know? Yeah. There are more people that would be, in my opinion, would be willing to run the actual influencers in comparison to creators that are ever going to be creators on any of the platforms, right? There's only so many girls that want to do it. That's number one. Number two, the efficiency and scale of content is significantly bigger, like thousands of times bigger, right? I mean, the speed that we can move now is already absurd and it's only improving, right? And I was mentioning earlier that, you know, girls are going to be able to do all kinds of stuff. Imagine you could just click a button and you could just choose the exact viral dance that you want your AI creator to do. And it's one button click. Maybe it costs like 30 cents or $1 to make the video, but snap of a finger within 2 minutes, you know, you have to sit there and wait for it to process. Obviously that's the 2 minutes, but
by the way, to make the videos, you got to pay?
Yeah, we have to pay. Yeah, you have to pay for sure because it requires a lot of GPU processing. So we don't provide the videos for free. We provide like 1,000 photos for free. And then, you know, there's a small price for the production of the videos, but.
So on Fanplace, when you want to make a video, you got to pay like 30 cents or something like
30 to 60 cents. Yeah, per video. And so.
Got it.
I think it's a pretty reasonable amount. I would say, I mean, like one viral video could make you a lot of money.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And so like if your cost of marketing per month is like a few $100s per month.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's to me, that seems like a good deal.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
an amazing deal. You know, so
it's a good. No, I just didn't know that.
Yeah. So it does cost a little.
Look, here's the thing. I remember when dropshipping was a thing, and everyone was dropping on dropshipping. Then it became saturated. Then e-com became a thing. Then it got saturated. Now I think the next thing is going to be AI creators, and that's why I wanted you on the podcast because I feel like my audience would be able to get access to this before it becomes saturated, and when they get on top of this and when it does become saturated, these guys are going to be the icons at the top that started when no one else started.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think we're still a long ways away from that. Like the industry's so small, you know, I mean, like we show people what we're doing and then number one, they don't believe it. Number two, they don't believe we actually make any money. Number three, they think that it's never going to replace or compete with the real girl space. I could just go on. And like, we've been doing this for a year and a half, you know? And so I think 2-3 years from now, the business could be like a 9 or a 10-figure business. And I think that we're still going to get the same feedback, you know, like there's no way that, so I don't like, you know, people think that things are going to magically change in the business. I don't think so. Like, I think that things are going to mostly stay the same, you know, and that's one of my prevailing thesis for all kinds of investment. And this is an investment for what it's worth. I obviously invest my money and my time and my resources into it. It's a market like any other, right? In my opinion, it's a soft market, you know? No matter what we do to promote this to the masses, most people are never going to want to be in this business because the type of the business it is and the connotation and whatever it is, right? And there's a reason we don't want to brand it as like models or OFM or any of that stuff because there's a negative connotation to that world, in my opinion. I think you would agree about, you know, on that. And because people think it's bad, they think, all we're doing is marketing on social media. You know, we're building these influencer pages. It's exciting to do. It's fun to run the brand. We have all kinds of people doing it. And so I want to keep the focus on that. You know, the other part of the business, the part that's required to actually make the money, number one is not real. Number two is just handled separately for you, essentially for the most part. Right. And so eventually it will be completely AI handling that side of the business. That might be a year or two away, to be honest, because the tech takes time to develop, but it's a social media business. Now, I don't think things are going to change. The reason I got into the creator space in the first place is because there's a shit ton of liquidity for you to make money from, but it's an extremely soft market, right? The turbo geniuses of the world are not entering this space for the most part. Maybe I'm a smart guy and I chose to do it, but I think I'm the rare person. I think most guys don't want to be in this space.
Not only are you smart, your strength is a visionary.
Yeah, I would think so too.
You're like looking 30 years in the future.
Yeah, and I always think about like I try to live in the future and think about how to scale something massive. Like, let's think as big as possible. How do we make $1 billion from this, you know, in a year? Yeah. What does that look like, right? What's the tech required to do that? What's the infrastructure required to do that? What's the marketing required to do that? What does our brand have to actually be viewed as to make that happen? So we've put a lot of that tech in place and now it's a scaling point. But back to the liquidity part. For anyone to make money in anything, there needs to be money for you to drag from, right? Imagine there's like a big pond of money. Everybody goes fishing, tries to, you know, drag their little fish. The space that we're in has a massive amount of liquidity that's there to be taken, right? But there's very few people that are actually competing for it. Right. And I don't think me putting this out there is going to magically make more people compete. Right. Ideas are one thing, but execution is a completely different thing, you know? And so for me, being in this space, I've done it for several years now. I have like a 10-year vision for this, right? Like this isn't something that we're going to make money from selling a course for 6 months, right? I think that there's 10-year runway for this, maybe longer, you know? And so when we're building this out, we don't care about the short-term consequences of something. We only care about the long-term consequences. When we build brands, it's for 10 years. Right? When we build our brand as a business and as myself, it's for 10 years. And that's why we don't charge, right? That's why it's free. Hey, come build with us for the next 10 years, right? Don't worry about 6 months from now. It doesn't matter, right? Like if you make 4K in a month or you make 7K in a month, does it actually fundamentally make any difference to your life in the next 10 years? It has no difference at all, right? But if you build the high value skill sets that can make you 100K a month person, now you're talking. Now you can actually do real damage, you know? Or if you build the skill sets to grow 10 million followers, that 10 million followers is going to appreciate like an asset. The social medias are like stocks. They're like assets. They grow in value over time, right? Not only do they grow in followers, but the ability to monetize those followers is going to grow over time. It changes over time, but the girl never changes, right? She doesn't age. She's going to get better over time because the tech is going to improve, right? So now you own this asset. Your product is improving over time. The cost of the improvement of the product is going down over time, and the ability to monetize that product is improving over time. So what's going to happen? Your money's going to go up, right? So for us, we've just been focused on this idea of accumulation of audience and growth of audience over time. Now, me as an individual person, can I grow myself 100 or 200 million followers a year? Maybe, but it would be the craziest social media operation in the history of the world, right? What does Mr. Beast have for audience right now? He has like 1 billion followers and it's taken him years and years to build, right? So for me to build something like that, it would be one of the craziest operations of all time. Could I do it if I only focused on that? Maybe. But instead, what can I do? I can help 100,000 people grow and take a smaller percentage of each of their business and incentivize them. And cumulatively, we'll have a massive operation, right? And I'll still make a lot of money, right? Now, am I going to have 80% of, no, of course not, right? A much smaller percentage, but cumulatively, there'll be billions of dollars of revenue, billions of followers being grown. It'll be crazy, right? So that was the vision that I had for all this. I'm like, screw selling a course. Like what is selling a course going to do for me?
Yeah.
You know
You've
what I
done
mean?
it perfectly. You've executed it perfectly.
And so now we're growing, I think at an exponential rate.
Yeah.
We do very well with our referrals, right? Where if you refer your friend, you get a percentage of their business for life, no matter how many creators they run. We have people making over 10,000 a month as a referral now.
Wow.
And so I think someone's going to become a millionaire from the referrals. I believe that because if you think about it, if you refer 100,000 people, you could literally have a percentage of millions and millions of dollars per month in revenue for life.
Yeah.
And we pay out in crypto, by the way, as well for the referrals. I have a crypto payment website that we offer for that.
Nice.
To be fair, if it was that much, we'd probably do bank. But anyways, the point is that there's a lot of ways that you can capture value from the ecosystem that we built. And I think it's done in a way that's fair value exchange for everybody. If you decide that we're taking too much, whatever, then no problem. Like no harm, no foul, right? Like it's completely, if you decide, hey, I just want to try for free, but it's not for me, no problem. We don't charge you anything. It's completely free.
Yeah, it's free.
You give your try. Hey, it's not for me, this business.
Yeah,
no
that's fine.
worries. No problem at all.
Yeah. That's what I love. Nobody loses money with you.
Exactly. And by the way, when you do spend money, you're trying to invest it in yourself, not back into us.
Yeah,
right?
You're spending into Facebook ads.
Exactly. So someone might say, well, you're saying that it costs money to make the videos on your platform. We're not profiting. Like if you really think we're putting on this giant, operation to make like 30 cents per, like
he scammed you 60 cents.
It would be crazy, there's no money in that, right? So we just break even on all that or even slightly lose.
Yeah.
And the purpose is to provide the best tools we can to people so that they can actually go and grow viral on social media because there's way more value as a platform to have people who have billions of followers, sending the traffic to our platform, right? So that's the perspective that we have. So I think it's a different perspective. And I think that a lot of people come to us and they view us as like an agency or like a course seller. And I don't feel like I talk like that. You know what I mean? Like my goal as a person is never to come across that way. You know, it's to be down to earth. It's not to have to rely on, flexing random things to get people to come into my product. I've never once done that. I don't show off stuff. All I do is provide the value and provide the opportunity and the market has taken care of the rest, and there seems to be a big market for it considering the growth that we've had this year.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, look, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
To me, it's a no-brainer for anybody wanting to get into the space and wanting, everybody like kids that are at home, don't know how to make money and don't have a job.
18 or older kids, by the way.
Yeah, 18 and older.
Yeah.
But I look at them still kids.
Yeah, for sure.
18.
Yeah. 10 years.
So my question is, okay, so I like the value offering. I like everything. Yeah. Now let's get into tips and tricks. Yeah. Because you're in a unique position where you're in the back end and you can see what works and what doesn't. Yeah. Okay. So tips and tricks, the people that post, so somebody hires a VA and their VA is in the Philippines, right? Yeah. And they pay them $100 a week, something like that. Uh-huh. Now, would she be posting? But then again, she has the Philippine IP.
Doesn't matter probably, but I would say that you probably want to run the socials yourself from a local phone. I would say that you can run with a proxy out of the Philippines and it'll work fine as long as the proxy is a strong proxy. If people don't know a proxy, it's basically to have your location appear as a different one than where you actually are. So you could be in the Philippines, but Instagram thinks you're in America.
So those work?
It does work if it's a strong quality proxy and the setup is correct. In my opinion, I don't think it matters that much. I think the most important thing is the content, right? If you post a bunch of content that to you as like a Filipino native, like if it makes sense to you, then it's probably going to get pushed out to the Philippines. You have to think in the eyes of the audience that you actually want to reach.
But the real consumers and spenders are in America.
Yeah, America, UK, Canada.
So does that mean you need to find a poster in America?
Yeah, you don't need a poster in America. Even if you're in a third world country, we have tons of people there and they're just running socials. What you need is, number one, I think boosting towards the premium audiences and telling Instagram, hey, my content should be pushed out to those people is a key. That's number one. Number two, making content that appeals to the premium audience, I think is the most important thing, right? Because you can be in a premium audience country and then get pushed out to, Filipino, Pakistan, India, like the non-premium countries, right? Because your content is for that audience, right? So the content is the most important part of all of this. There are little tips and tricks and things that you can do. I think your branding is very important. The way that you brand the creator, her name, the bio, making it clear that she's like an American girl. I think the social medias, they aggregate that information, right? And so if in your bio, it's very clear that you're like an American girl, I think they're more likely to push you to America. I know it sounds ridiculous, but at the end of the day, the social media doesn't know anything about you unless you tell them stuff about you, right? Mm-hmm. If you're a goth girl and then you just name your brand Jenny Smith, mm-hmm. how the hell are they going to know that you're a goth girl? But you're a cool goth girl, right? You want to get pushed out to people because you're a cool goth girl, but they don't know who you are, right? And so if you make your name Goth Girl Jenny or whatever, you're probably more likely to get pushed out to that audience, mm-hmm. in my opinion, And so I think that there's little things that you can do there, and we teach all of those branding strategies. Another thing that you can do if you want kind of like a Filipino posting or, a virtual assistant posting is you can kind of run like a remote posting operation where you have phones set up at your location, but they remote access the phones and then run posting through that. I think that it's a good way to scale your brand, but at the beginning, I think you should post yourself, I think that you should master the skills. You should learn the feel of the social media. Like the social media itself is like a life form. Like when you started from zero, you have to kind of birth the account, and the beginning of the account is very important. You don't want to mess up. You don't want to overwhelm the social media. You don't want to, it's like, you kind of have to build the account in a logical way. That's like, this thing is going to exist for the next 10 years and build it in that manner. We do teach all of this. It requires a little bit of like a finesse though, like there's always like a trick of the trade that isn't that easy to actually capture just explaining or teaching it. We do our best to do that. But like any other business, you have risk and downside and people get banned. It happens, people get flagged on their socials. In my opinion, that's just part of the game, You make a new one, you keep posting, you learn from it, and you keep growing, right? Now, the main skill set that I think that we teach very well is how to actually capture and spread that audience, right? It's one of the things I never see people talk about, right? Like, if you've noticed, one of the themes of this entire podcast has been the value of audience development, right? Mm-hmm. You notice I'm not talking about all the crazy, we have the craziest monetization content of all time, Yeah. It doesn't matter, who cares? Because the only thing that matters is if you can actually get eyeballs to that content. That's the only thing that matters, right? So the audience development is the most important thing, and it's what we spend 99.9% of our time on, okay? Now, one of the keys to audience development is having brand everywhere, right? You're on YouTube, but you're also on Instagram, right? I don't know if you have like Facebook or anything like that.
No, but TikTok.
You have TikTok. Okay, so you have a brand everywhere. So now, when people are interested in your brand and they're interested in the On My Way podcast, what do? Any platform that they log into, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, they see you, right? Oh, a new post came up. Oh, a new short came up, a new reel, a new TikTok. Right? You're in their mind, right? That is the definition of virality and having a brand, right? A viral brand. Why is Sophie Rain so viral? Is it because she has millions of followers? I mean, that's part of it. She's viral because she's always in your mind, right? Any platform that you go on, she has a huge audience. She's posting every day, high quality content, and you always see her posted everywhere. Mm-hmm. And that's not random. That's intentional. Her team marketing her is spending a shit ton of money every single month to make that happen. Mm-hmm. So she's always in your mind, right? Mm-hmm. Our creators are no different, right? And so we don't just teach you one platform, whether it be Instagram, we teach you all the platforms. We teach you how to connect them together to spread your audience, right? Once you start growing on Instagram, that's a gateway to Twitter. It's a gateway to Facebook. It's a gateway to TikTok. When you grow on TikTok, it's a gateway to Twitter. It's a gateway to Instagram. You see what I'm saying? They work cohesively together, right? There's a reason why you go viral on one platform and your other platform gains followers. Why is that the case? Because someone sees you on that platform, but they're also a user of another platform and they go search you up. And so over time, if you do it in a smart manner, which we teach how to do, you have a brand everywhere, right? And now the brand becomes a self-reinforcing thing, right? The more you go viral on Instagram, the more you go viral on Twitter, and the more you go viral on TikTok, and the more you go viral on Facebook. Does that make sense? And once you have one of those brands developed, guess what you can do? You can connect that brand to your next AI creator and you can have them work together, right? They can collab with each other. You can move your traffic around, right? A follower is always a follower, even if it's the same guy, right? So if the same guy follows you on 10 different platforms, is that one or is that 10? it's 10. It's always worth one follower, right? And so to us, we don't care if the same guy goes and follows 100 different accounts. That's a win, right? Because he's going to be engaged with those brands. Those brands are going to be in his mind. And guess what? When the time comes and he's ready to spend, what's he going to do? He's going to go spend on the platform, right? So this is the thing that nobody ever talks about, right? The real value of the audience and how to compound that audience over time. My skill set has always been understanding how to build mass scale networks on social media. That's what I've always been good at. From day one, it just made sense. I'm like, oh, if I have this account and this account, they work together, right? There's a reason it's called a network. They work together.
I can see how passionate you are. And, I've got a list of questions and I haven't asked one of them because it just flows, right? I can see how passionate you are and how much you love this and you get into it. And as you're getting into it, I've got questions.
I think it's fascinating. Like, I think it's exciting. And for me, like, I got turbo ADHD, and so I need like dopamine. I need excitement, and like sitting doing like boring office work that was never going to be in my life, And so with this, it's cool. It's fun. Like, and I like to think big about things, like my mentors, they've helped a lot in teaching me, how to actually think properly about social media and about business and life. But the number one thing they say is think as big as possible, right? Like if you come into this thinking, hey, I'm going to make 5K per month, you're only ever going to take action to do that, right? But if you think about making billions, then potentially it could be a thing, like it actually could happen. So your mindset is the key to your success.
You're swinging for it.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta do it,
You wouldn't swing for a billion, you wouldn't swing for $1 billion if you're not thinking 5,000 a month.
Exactly.
So, okay. So you do well with one model.
Yeah.
And then you pick up another model.
Yeah.
Can you then have both of them in the same video?
Yes, you can.
And then they'll introduce each other. And
you can even have 3 creators in the same video now.
That's amazing.
Dancing and doing great. So it's just, that's what we can do today. Imagine what we could do in the future, And so we already kind of take advantage of that, and we run sort of like clubs or houses where a bunch of creators collaborate constantly. And then we kind of use their brands to grow the main collab page. And then through that collab page, we kind of disperse the traffic. Got it. So it's a very effective strategy. A lot of the big creator agencies do it. The Sophie Rain Girl made the Bop House, right? Sorry.
That's incredible.
The Sophie Rain Girl made the Bop House. And, it's like we can kind of do an AI version of that now.
You're actually like, I've got people on the podcast that make money, but I feel like you would make more money than them. And you are so anti-flex.
Yeah, I don't do that stuff. Like, it's just never been part of my life, to be honest. Like, I didn't grow up with it. And we were like upper middle class growing up, I would say. And we weren't poor by any means, but we also weren't like turbo rich. And then I just never grew up that way. And
like you can afford this car.
Yeah, I have a nice car, but it's like, will I eventually buy like a cooler? Sure, but it's just not a priority in my life right now. You know, it's like the things you own, they end up owning you. And I just kind of focus on the work right now. Like we're just extremely locked in, and we're not like celebrating our riches, and our wins. We're just focused on the future and what we think we can build, and at this point, like, money is obviously cool and we're going to make a lot of it. And that's obviously a motivation, but I think just building something that can potentially change the world. And that's actually like awesome. I mean, building $1 billion company is a way more exciting idea than actually making the money from the $1 billion company, in my opinion, And if I didn't have this to work towards every day, I wouldn't know what to do with myself, and like, I need the excitement. I need to keep building stuff. And so to me, that's way more awesome, than going out and like, it's just, what does it matter? I have a watch and cool stuff, and I buy things occasionally here and there, but I don't think that that's a primary focus. Also, for what it's worth, our brand as a business is away from that stuff. Like we don't want people coming to us thinking they're going to get rich quick, because that's the wrong type of person, right? When you do marketing, right? You need to think about your demographic, right? Who's going to actually consume your content? And if you're trying to sell them something, you got to think, well, who's going to actually buy my content, right? If you're selling a course, right? The person that you want coming into you, who to buy your course, is someone that thinks about 2 things: money and speed of return of money, right? That's not the type of person that's going to come and be successful with us, because ours is free, right? So unless you become successful, we make no money, right? And so the question is, well, what kind of person is going to be successful with our offer? To me, it's someone who's motivated by the social media and by the growth of the social media, right? Because if you grow on social media, you will make money. It's literally that simple, right? And so when I look at that, I'm like, all right, am I going to go promote all this crazy stuff with flexing and all these things so people come in who are only worried about the monetization side when they have no fundamental skill sets, right? Because we're not selling them shovels. We're giving them the shovels and helping them dig for the gold.
Yeah.
We just want a little piece of the gold afterwards, you know? So you still get most of it. So it's a completely different demographic and way of thinking. And it's not really cohesive with a lot of the people who are kind of like historic, like course gurus and guys that sell courses, because they're mostly concerned with like their floor income on a per month basis, right? I need to make this much money because I'm spending this much to kind of show on social media to get the returns coming in, right? We don't do any of that stuff, right? We just give value. We tell about the offer. We provide a very exciting opportunity. And in my opinion, the value exchange to the market has proven to be very even, very fair. People think it's amazing, you know? And so I'm excited from that. And I don't want to be this guy that like flexes all this stuff. Now in the future, if we're making more money, will we end up doing some crazy flex marketing thing as like a marketing tactic? Who knows? Like, I don't want to say it's never going to happen, because you never know what's going to happen.
I think at that level, it wouldn't even be you making that decision. You'd have a marketing department that would come up with that idea.
So it's like, but as a person myself, like, I don't want people coming into my offer and thinking my brand is like, whoa, Steven has this cool thing, and that's why I should go listen to it. You know, I never once did that. And we have over 5,000 people in our community now. And it's like, we've barely actually done any marketing this year. I didn't even want to come on the podcast when we first spoke about it a couple months ago. And it's like, all these people have signed up and they stay, right? They're not leaving, you know? And the reason they stay is because we're honest. We're not deceitful. We give fair value to everybody. And I actually genuinely care about their success, and they feel that and they care about that. Whereas when you go buy a course, I think it's a little predatory in some situations, you know? Maybe some course sellers do a good job, but I think a lot of times it's a little predatory, and you kind of end up buying something and then it doesn't end up being the best thing and you don't know. Also, for what it's worth, as our core thesis of our brand, it's a long-term process, right? When you sell someone a course, your monetization, generally speaking, is done at that point, right? Maybe you have an upsell to like some additional offer or some additional mentorship or whatever, but generally speaking, the monetization is in the initial sale of the course, right? For ours, it's way down the line, right? You got to stick with us for a while before we actually start making money from you, right? So we care about your progress, right? And people feel that, you know? And so I don't know, to me, that's a motivation, right? And I've always been that way, and I've been that way for years now. And I'm not going to change who I am just because we now have a successful business. Because of who I am, the business became successful. If that makes sense, right? So why would I magically go change that, right? I need to stay true to myself and true to the ethos of our brand.
No, I like that. And I think your authenticity comes across really well as well. Because you're just laser focused. You're almost like an Elon Musk level of focused on something.
Yeah, and I think it's also important.
Obsessive.
I appreciate that, but I think it's also important because of our industry, you know, like there's a connotation around the industry, and there's a lot of people who are, in my opinion, like they give negative connotation towards the potential value of it, you know, and I want to come across as professional, you know, I want to come across as serious. I want our business to come across as serious as it is, which it's already a multi-8-figure business. It's a big business, you know, and we believe it could be much bigger, you know, and so a lot of people that are in this space, they kind of go the flexing route, and you know, a lot of them are younger guys, you know what I mean? They're in their early 20s. They kind of made some money online. They're doing okay. They make their 20, 30K per month, whatever it is. I'm happy for them. Good for them. You know, that's the thing that motivates them. Good for them. But as an enterprise level company that wants to be as big as we want to be, we need to present ourselves differently because of the space that we need to take ourselves seriously, or nobody will, you know? And so I think that we're attracting a lot of higher quality audience to our business, and a lot of people that might have never been in this space before because of how we present ourselves and how our brand is. And it starts with me, right? It starts with the leader of the business, you know, like everything trickles down, right? If I'm making a bunch of money, which I've been doing well for myself, but I'm not locked in, then is anybody else in the business going to be locked in? No way. You know what I mean? No way, right? Elon Musk, I saw a quote on Twitter, and he basically said like he could be on a beach with Mai Tais and models, but he's here working. So there's no excuse for you.
Yeah. You know? Well, he said that?
He said that. Yeah. I saw a quote. Maybe it's a fake quote, but I'm pretty sure it's real, you know?
I could be on the beach
with Mai Tais and models.
What's
you know?
Mai Tais?
Like drinks, basically, like alcohol.
Okay.
And it's like, he's like hundreds of billions, whatever, and he's still working every day, building the future. So how can anyone at his company? So I'm not saying that I'm Elon Musk, but what I am saying is that for anyone that's serious with business, like it starts at the top with your leadership. And I want to be taken serious. You know, like we have a serious social media business. We've grown a lot of followers. We've done quite well for ourselves, and we want to establish ourselves as the market as the premier place. If you want to grow AI influencers and make money from this business, like that's what our goal is to become, you know? And so Yeah.
And you're making a lot of people rich as well.
We've had a lot of success stories, man, like crazy stuff, you know, and like we have some mutual connections. Like a younger brother of someone that we know, came to me and, you know, he had prior experience like purchasing courses and trying to learn. And then he came to me and he's like, I think he thought he had to kind of like, maybe like, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like grease me, you know, like the term grease, like it was not necessary. I'm like, oh dude, you don't have to worry. It's free, you know? And I don't think he fully grasped that it was free. And now, the younger brother is doing extremely well this month. His business will do like roughly like 150 to 200,000 gross revenue with AI creators. He started at the beginning of the year, didn't know anything about the business. At least for sure not AI. Learned everything through our education. He's killing it. And now he's actually working with me on the business. He's making education. He's going to lead kind of like a mentorship situation. We have like a mentorship education part of the business starting. So it doesn't cost money, the mentorship. It's also free. But the way it works is we have even more investment in you. And so you give up more percentage of your business, but my company will now cover the cost of the chatting and we will invest money into your business. So we'll cover all your ad spend, all your credit spend, all your virtual assistants. So the way that I view it is like almost like venture capital bets, like small little bets on potential budding businesses. And if they become successful, it pays off massively. If it doesn't, fine, I lose a little bit of money, you know? And my goal is to take my money and reinvest it back into the users. And so there might be someone out there who's like 20 years old. He's a hustler, but he doesn't have a lot of money. You know what I mean? But he's really motivated and believes in the future. He's shown some success. Imagine if that guy had a few $1,000s a month to work with. Probably could do some damage. You know what I mean? Like you need money to make money in a lot of situations. And if you had liquidity to spend on ads, you could scale your business up way faster. And so I want to find those guys and give them that opportunity. So he's actually going to be one of the leaders of one of my mentorship communities because he's obviously proven to be extremely successful, you know? So I'm excited about that part of the business. I think it's a cool concept. And most people that do these things, they charge like obscene amounts up front, you know, ours is free.
Yours is completely free,
you know? And so you end up getting still a nice chunk of the profits. You get a lot of stuff covered for you and you get investment into your business plus one-on-one mentorship with people who are making multiple six figures. I mean, how many things in the whole world does that exist like that? That's completely free. This might be the only one.
I mean, listen, I would agree. This is the only one. I remember the beginning of the year, he had nothing to do. He wasn't making any money. Now he's making 100,000 a month.
Can you believe that?
Like,
I swear to God, it's crazy. So we have a lot of situations like that where people have quit their 9 to 5. They're doing this full time. Maybe some people were kind of skeptical whether AI was the right way. And they were also kind of in like the real side of the business. And then now they've completely left it. Now they're focused on AI. I think that's going to happen more and more. You know, I think it's going to keep trending up. This year, like we've just seen absurd results in terms of like our third party network growth. Like the way I would explain that is like basically people that are not part of my internal business and the money that they make. Like it's gone up like 200x this year from the beginning of the year. So it's just the exponential growth is insane. And like if you looked at our business like a stock, people would be all in on it. You know, it's like they'd be like, this is going to the moon, right? But nobody knows we exist and nobody sees the back end. But when you see the numbers and the data that we're seeing, it's just absurd, the growth that we're seeing. It's literally insane, you know? And so I would challenge anyone that has a community to show me better results than the one that we've gotten. And it's free, you know? So it's not like we've like, hey, pay 10,000 to get in, right? Which most people do. And then they use the results to get people to buy. Oh, this guy made this money. It's like, I'm not selling you anything. It's free.
Incredible. Incredible. Listen, remember first time me and you met, we had a coffee. I said to you, you're going to be a billionaire? You're going to be a billionaire.
I hope so. It's not about the money. It's just cool. You know, like what's life? Like just do something cool with your life. You know, it's like I'm motivated to do that. You know,
I don't think any billionaire ever did anything to become a billionaire.
They never did.
They never did.
They focused on the value, you know, so like everyone had a different way of doing it. But for me, the value that I want to provide is like growing social media audience and giving people a legitimate way to like build a business and run a business, you know? And so that is very cool. I think it's fun, you know? I get motivated when I see the results of other people, you know, and I see them growing and changing their life. And, you know, I'm not saying it's 100% hit rate. It definitely isn't, but we've had a lot of successes and it's just outrageously cool, man. You know, so I'm happy to be in this position and like to help people grow. Another thing that I would say is that,
well, from my experience with seeing our mutual friend's brother from making no money to making 100,000 a month,
crazy,
is that if you follow the courses, the courses that you have for free, then then it's impossible for you to fail.
I think so if you stick with it.
If you fail, it's because you missed one of the courses.
And we have a system, like basically what we do is we give it for free, but we audit the users, right?
You can see if they've seen it.
We can see if they've watched the course. We can see if they're doing anything on social media. We can see if they've set up their FanPlace account. Like we can see all that stuff because we're able to capture the data, right? And the people that succeed, they literally just follow the steps and they follow the course and they commit to it. And the people that don't, they kind of come in and then they just check out and then they never do anything. And so, you know, at the end of the day, that's up to you, right? It's up to the person that decides that they want to make this their business and they want to make money from it. It's not really up to me, right? Yeah. And that's why it's free, because I don't know who that guy is, right? Who's the person that's actually going to go and follow the education and make the money? Could be, you lay out 100 guys. How can I know? Yeah. Nobody can know, right? Yeah. And so, you know, if we charged money, I don't think that necessarily means a better quality person is going to come through. You know, it might mean someone with more money is going to come through, but that doesn't mean they're going to make more. Yeah. Right. And so, you know, at the end of the day, there's a bit of a randomness to it. And that's why we want as many people as possible to get the opportunity. That's why we offer it for free. But yeah, I would say that following the education and, you know, it's all laid out there, man. Like I didn't hold back in this podcast. I definitely didn't hold back in the education. You know, it's like, it's literally 70 hours of content. You can sit there and watch your heart out. And so, you know, that's basically it. Also, we kind of keep up with the education. So like things have changed. And for example, one of the ways is some of the content strategies, they evolve over time. What's viral today is different than what was viral a year ago. Yeah. Right. The principle of the viral content is the same, but it's evolved over time. We have more education coming out for it, right? Hey, this is a new type of content. It's going viral. You should make this, right? Yeah. Hey, this new change is happening on Twitter. You got to adjust your page for this, right? Yeah. This new type of social media makes a lot of money. You know, for example, we do well on Facebook, right? Hey, there's new education for Facebook. You guys can learn how to make money from it now, right? And so things change over time and our education evolves with it. And that's one of the most important things. And I think this, you know, it gives us distinction from people who sell courses. Oftentimes it kind of is what it is. It's like, here's the course and it's like a simple step-by-step type of thing, but maybe it's not super applicable to actually making money. We only make money if you make money, right? And so we're directly motivated to keep up with what's new in social media to help you guys make the most. We're also directly incentivized to keep producing better technology to help people make more money, right? And so we put a lot of effort and emphasis on that. And
you're super locked in.
Yeah, I want to make a lot of money, dude. Like I want to do. I don't want to say that. I not make a lot of money. Like I want to.
No, but I mean, when you make a lot of money, that means I want to help a lot of. I want to help a lot of other people make a lot of money, which will make me a lot of money. Exactly.
It's not about the money. The money that I make is directly correlated to the money that everybody else makes.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with me except for the value I provide others.
Exactly.
You know, and so I can't make anything unless I make a lot of other people successful. So I want to see 100,000 people in our community successfully running their own AI creators. Yeah. You know, that to me will make me very wealthy. It will make all of them successful as well. Yeah. You know, and that's it. Like it's a direct value exchange.
If OnlyFans called you tomorrow and they made you an offer to buy the business, would you sell it?
No. Nothing's for sale ever. Wow. Nothing's for sale. There's no price because like we just believe in the vision that we have and
100 mil.
No, it's not for sale.
It's not for sale.
It's not for sale. The business is not for sale. And, we believe in the vision that we have. And I don't think that that's a fair value for it. Like I think it's worth more. And we believe that we can make a lot of money from this for a long time. You know, like I think that one of the underrated parts of audience is the ability to remonetize, right? If you take care of your brand, right, and you have a high quality brand, people will follow you to the ends of the earth, right? Look at Mr. Beast. He's launching like, edge financial stuff. What does he know about finances? Maybe he does. I don't know. But he's doing it because he has a brand, right? Yeah. He launched a chocolate business and he launched a financial business. Yeah. Why? Because he has a brand that people follow, right? Now, the girls, you might not look at it that way, but at the end of the day, they're a brand, right? And so if somebody's following that creator and there's a way to make money from that creator in the current period of time, maybe it's selling photos or videos now, but in a year from now, it's voice calls. And in a year after that, it's video. And a year after that, the girls are doing their own podcasts. And a year after that, it's streaming. Do you think that guy's ever going to leave the brand? No way. He's going to keep spending money for years to come, right? And so we think that there's several massive monetization opportunities for many years. Many years.
Yeah, of course.
You know, multiple times over. And so every new time the technology basically changes and evolves, what's going to happen, right? We're going to have bigger and bigger audience, right? We're going to have these massive brands, more and more people. And so our ability to monetize it over time will continue to increase, right? Here's a way to make money. Now we have 10 times more creators. We make way more money from it, right? A year later, the tech changes again. We got 100 times more creators. We make even more money from it. And so like an offer to buy it now wouldn't make any sense when we think, hey, there's going to be 10 of those opportunities for the next 10 years, right? The only thing that matters is bringing more people in, establishing themselves, and giving them as much value as possible, basically, is our vision for the business.
I wasn't able to ask any of these questions that I wrote down.
Well, we had a good time though.
But a great time. Yeah. But I'm going to leave the link below in the description so people can click it and they can go in for themselves and make an account and do everything they want to do. Yeah, for sure. And if you're skeptical, I think it's worth trying, in my opinion. If you're thinking, hey, like I'm not sure if this is right for me, why not give it a try? It's like it doesn't really hurt that much, and you might as well go learn a little bit. And I think that you're going to learn a lot of valuable skills from it, regardless of whether you end up making money from the creators or not. And, some of you might actually become quite successful as well. So I'm happy to be here, and I really appreciate you having me on and letting me share a little bit about myself and the business and our story. And I'm just very excited about next year and many years to come.